that's my impression of riding a motorcycle. Don't worry, I don't actually have a license. I'm reviewing Nation's Fire, giving you my pros, cons, trigger warnings, and my twisted final grade. Hey Twisted people, it's your Twisted Girl next door here, Chauncey K. Robinson, and today I'm reviewing Nation's Fire, which is a part of my review series that I'm doing for the new year of 2020 called the Outlier review series. Outlier horror, yes, because as we know, as horror and occasional dark fantasy fans, we occasionally are made to watch films that aren't necessarily in that genre, but we still like to have the elements of horror and perhaps dark fantasy in our movies so that we can, push through or enjoy it a little bit more than we normally would. So I wanted to, because I do watch movies occasionally that aren't exactly horror, but have some horror elements. Usually, yes, if I'm watching it probably has some horror elements if it's not exactly horror. So I wanted to do some reviews here and there. So be sure to give me some recommendations for outlier horror reviews that you might want me to check out. Movies that have some horror elements but aren't exactly categorized as horror or thrillers necessarily. Let me know, comment down below, and also be sure to subscribe so that you're the first to know when I post my videos of all things horror and dark fantasy and slightly horror and dark fantasy with this Outlier series. The leader of an all-female motorcycle club, Gloria Nation, leaves her gang to raise her son. When her son is killed in a school shooting tied to an underground drug ring, she leads her club on a journey of retaliation for her son's death. If you enjoy biker movies with a good amount of gore and some elements of thrill to it, and even a lot of heart, then you will definitely actually enjoy Nation's Fire. Themes. Okay, so if you are familiar with biker movies, like Easy Rider and others of that nature, then a quintessential aspect of it is the biker lifestyle, the biker look, and things of that nature. What I like about this film is that it actually adds other themes within it, because we know that biker movies, the legacy of biker movies, it's a piece of American culture, right? That whole rugged, the history of it, man's men or like women's women in that regard. And I think what this film does, it adds other elements of, things that can affect us in our modern day society when it comes to it, things that maybe like Easy Rider, others of like the 70s, the 80s, and things of that nature can't, of course, necessarily apply to now in the year 2020. Oh my gosh, we're in 2020. So this movie has some themes that are really poignant, actually. It deals with the question of the ramifications of school shootings. It deals with how veterans are treated when they return home. It deals with the struggle of single mothers trying to raise their children, and it gives a considerable amount of time, or at least focus or highlight to each of those themes. And there's other themes such as family, the power of family, the question of integrity, of morality, what's off limits and what isn't when it comes to the hustle of life. And I think if you're someone who, first of all, if you like biker movies, you'll dig the biker lifestyle and what it shows there. But if you are also someone, or if you're trying to watch it with someone who may not necessarily be into the whole biker element of things, there's something else there that digs a little deeper that they can also be into and you can be into as well. Familiar faces. Okay, so one of the things I do like about this film as well is if you're watching it and you are like me, where you are maybe really good at faces, maybe not the best with names sometimes, but just, like you've watched enough films that you can point out when, someone from some other film you watched is in a movie. And this film definitely has a lot of familiar faces from some horror movies as well. Kudos if you watch this film. Comment down below. Come back to this review and let me know if you notice a certain actress from Maniac Cop 2 and Maniac Cop 1 who is in this film. Let me know, comment down below if you watched the film and you want to come back and check out this review and give that comment. But yeah, there's a lot of familiar faces in there that you will recognize from other movies. Gore and kills. So, I had to highlight that because even though this is a review in my horror outlier review series, that means they also have to have a certain either thriller or horror element to it, or maybe dark fantasy element to it. And this movie definitely has that. Oh my gosh. Some of these kills are even actually more gory than some recent horror movies I've seen, and it does it very well. There's really great practical effects in this film. And you know me, if you've seen other reviews that I do, I am not a big fan of overly done CGI or CGI in general at this point in the game, because I think so many movies rely so heavily on them. So it's always a pleasant surprise and also very displeasing to watch something that has practical effects. And, because I think you have to use your brain power a little bit more to make practical effects come off very realistically. And it's so tangible. And there are so many, kills and gory things that happen in this film, and they're so practical, which kind of makes sense given the director of this film, because he's done other horror and thriller movies. But there's definitely elements of that in this movie. Even though it's a biker movie, you definitely have, biker movies tend to have violence in them, sometimes, especially, because it's the gang element in the biker situation. But I like the fact that this movie definitely takes it up a notch with the way some people are offed in them. And if you are someone, I'm not the biggest fan of gore, like gross gore, but that's not the case here. It's very much just like real great practical, I don't want to say violence because then I sound weird, but yes, for lack of a better way of describing it, you will like that if you are looking for some good, practical, tangible gore. I guess my one con of the film isn't really necessarily a con. It's actually a, maybe a compliment to the film itself, that it does the gore and the kills of the whole, with the elements of the motorcycle kind of linked into the gore and the kills, that I would have liked to see more of that as well. And maybe we'll see that if there's a sequel to this, because I think the movie does leave it open in that regard. It's a motorcycle movie. I like to see more motorcycles, more motorcycle action necessarily, although there's a good amount of it and you do see a good amount of motorcycles, I don't think you can ever have too much of that. So it'd be nice to see a bit more of it. Child death. Nation's Fire, what is my twisted final grade? And I'm gonna give it because I think it is a biker movie that if you like biker movies, you'll dig it. But I'm gonna give it bonus points for the fact that it centralizes women power. Oh yeah, you know it. Getting on my soapbox here for a second. I like it when we see strong women on screen, because I like the final girl, power and strength. So that already gave it like 10 extra points for me, but it actually does it even better. And I think even if you took that element out, it would still be a cool biker movie with the addition of the gore and the kills and the heart of the themes that happen. So I'm going to give it a twisted final grade of A, because I dug it and I liked it. And for what it was aiming to do, it definitely achieved it. It tackled some themes. It gave us some motorcycle action. It gave us some gore. It gave us some kills. It gave me some gore and kills. I don't know. I think if you're watching this channel, that's what you look for too. Even if it's not necessarily in that category, yes, it gives you that. Okay, Twisted people. So that is my horror outlier review of Nation's Fire, the biker movie that has some great gore and kills, because we like that here at this channel. And let me know if you watch it. It's out on VOD and DVD. You can catch it on various streaming services and things of that nature. Let me know. Comment down below if you dug it, if you have any recommendations for horror outliers that you want me to review and check out. I am more than happy to do it because, it's 2020, New Year, same me, same person that loves horror and all things horror and creepy. So I'm here to check out it all. And also, be sure to subscribe so that you are the first to know when I post my videos of all things horror and dark fantasy. And even some things with this horror outlier series that are to the slight left of horror and dark fantasy as well. Thank you for watching and going on this creepy journey with me. Talk to you later, and let's make sure to get creepy together.